People in the St. Louis area about our chances for a dangerous tremor. News 4's Paige Halsey talked to an expert about how big the threat is.
Throughout the years, the St. Louis area has felt a few smaller earthquakes.
I was in high school and it had a rumble. I was petrified. I'm like, okay, what's going on? It was early in the morning. I had just woke up.
Washington University professor of Earth and Planetary Science Doug Wien says we shouldn't worry about quakes in California setting off any here. The bigger threat, faults in southern Illinois and the New Madrid fault line.
There's a lot of small earthquakes there now, so we know that there's a chance of a large earthquake happening there.
The last major earthquake along the New Madrid fault line was back in the 1800s, but experts say the timing of the next one is hard to predict.
The New Madrid fault is not a fault like the San Andreas fault. San Andreas fault is on the plate boundary between North America and the Pacific Ocean, where there's sliding, and we know, what the long-term sliding rate is of that fault. And New Madrid, we don't see that kind of long-term motion, so it's a little bit harder for us to understand, how much stress is built up.
Experts say the chance for smaller quakes is much higher than for a big one here.
People tend to, either get really paranoid or they tend to ignore the earthquake hazard. And what I think we need is somewhere in between, where we realize that there is an earthquake hazard here. We design our buildings so that they won't collapse and kill people when there is an earthquake. But at the same time, it doesn't make any sense to be paranoid about earthquakes.
If a major quake does shake St. Louis, leaders at the county's Emergency Operations Center say they do have a plan in place. For News 4, I'm Paige Halsey.